For years, Nikon was the brand everyone respected and quietly ignored. But something changed, something calculated, something deliberate, and something that most of the camera world completely missed while it was busy watching everyone else. And now, in 2026, Nikon does not just feel like a safe choice anymore, it feels dangerous. Subscribe to Alt Buzz right now, because this is where we break down the cameras, industry shifts, and buying decisions that actually matter. There was a version of Nikon that made perfect sense to everyone. It was the brand working photojournalists swore by. The brand that showed up at every Olympic Games, every major sports event, every professional studio across the world. As dependable as gravity and just about as exciting to talk about in a YouTube comment section. Sony was the disruptor, constantly rewriting what mirrorless cameras could do and making creators gasp with every announcement. Canon was the empire, holding its ground through decades of brand loyalty and a lens ecosystem that most competitors simply cannot touch. Panasonic was the video creator's obsession, carving out devoted territory through Cinemacolor and professional-grade tools. And Nikon? Nikon was the brand that kept its head down, kept delivering exceptional glass, and kept arriving just half a step behind the conversation that everyone else was driving. This perception was not entirely unfair, and that is what makes it so interesting. Nikon was never a failing brand. It was a brand that felt safe in a market that increasingly rewarded boldness. Reviewers would praise a Nikon body, would acknowledge its build quality and optical performance, and then pivot to the Sony or Canon announcement that was already generating more heat. There was no urgency attached to the Nikon name, no sense that choosing Nikon meant you were making a bet on where the market was heading next. For a new generation of hybrid shooters and content creators building their systems from scratch, that absence of forward momentum made it easy, genuinely easy, to open a different box and feel completely confident about it. But here is the thing about a brand that has been quiet for a long time. Sometimes quiet is not weakness, sometimes quiet is patience. And the moment that patience turns into coordinated, deliberate action, the entire market has to pay a very different kind of attention. In 2024, Nikon completed its acquisition of RØDE. Take a moment and let that actually land. RØDE, the brand that built what many cinema professionals consider the gold standard of high-end cinema cameras. RØDE, the company whose color science has lived inside some of the most iconic film and television productions of the past 2 decades. RØDE, a name that cinematographers say with the kind of reverence that most camera manufacturers spend enormous budgets and entire decades trying to earn even a fraction of. And Nikon absorbed it. Quietly, deliberately, and with implications that stretch far beyond any single product launch or quarterly earnings report. When a camera company makes a major acquisition, the easy interpretation is always the same. New SKUs, new customer segments, a round of press coverage, and then business as usual 6 months later. But what Nikon did with RØDE was something fundamentally more calculated than a standard portfolio expansion. It was a declaration to the entire industry, a clear signal that Nikon was no longer satisfied competing inside the traditional mirrorless camera conversation alone. It was Nikon stepping into cinema territory, not by building something from scratch and hoping the market would accept it, but by integrating one of the most respected names in professional filmmaking directly into its own DNA. That is a completely different kind of move. That is a brand telling you, with its money, with its strategy, and with its long-term vision, that it is thinking about a much bigger future than the one everyone assumed it had mapped out. The camera world noticed, slowly at first, but then with growing clarity. Because the question that followed the acquisition was not simply about what Nikon would announce next. The real question, the one that started generating genuine discomfort in competing boardrooms, was this. If Nikon now carries RØDE's color pipeline, RØDE's cinema credibility, and RØDE's professional reputation inside its own ecosystem, what kind of camera company does Nikon become from this point forward? That is not a question with a comfortable answer if you are one of the brands that spent years treating Nikon like an afterthought. The answer arrived in 2025, and it arrived in the form of the Nikon ZR, a camera that did not represent simply another entry in a product lineup, but an entirely new kind of ambition made physical. The ZR was introduced as Nikon's Z cinema direction camera, built from the ground up with red color science embedded at its core, capable of internal R3D recording and designed with professional filmmaking as its primary identity. Not a bonus feature listed 3/4 of the way down a spec sheet. This was not a hybrid mirrorless camera with a cinema mode bolted on to justify a higher price point. This was Nikon standing at a long-standing boundary between traditional camera brands and serious cinema tools, and crossing it with full confidence. Think carefully about what that means for a working creator building a real professional workflow. Imagine being able to shoot a narrative short film and then move directly into a commercial project and then pivot to your channel content, all within the same system, all with red color science accessible from inside your camera bag rather than through a rental house or a purpose-built rig that costs more than most creators spend on their entire setup. The ZR collapsed a division that had existed for years. It made the Nikon ecosystem feel suddenly larger, more credible, and far more compelling than it had felt at any moment in recent memory. Subscribe to Alt Buzz if you want to be here every time a story like this develops, because this channel is built for the biggest camera moves and market shifts shaping what creators buy next. The ZR matters not only because of what it can technically deliver, it matters because of what it proves about intent. It is the physical evidence that the RØDE acquisition was never simply a business headline designed to generate press. It was a blueprint. And the ZR is the first clear page of what that blueprint looks like when it leaves the strategy meeting and arrives in the hands of the people who actually need it. Here is where Nikon's overall strategy becomes genuinely impressive and genuinely threatening to every brand watching from across the market. Because while the ZR was commanding attention in the cinema conversation, Nikon's core mainstream lineup was quietly becoming one of the most complete and versatile camera ecosystems anywhere in the mirrorless space, and this part of the story consistently gets far less credit than it deserves. Start with the Z5II, an accessible full-frame body that asks very little of your budget while delivering the image quality, the weather sealing, and the reliability that a serious photographer or hybrid creator needs to do real professional work without compromise. Move up to the Z6III, which has established itself as one of the strongest hybrid bodies in its class, blending stills performance with video capability in a way that earns consistent professional daily use across disciplines. Then there is the Zf, a camera that wears its retro exterior design like a deliberate love letter to the film era, while concealing thoroughly modern performance and autofocus capability underneath that carefully crafted analog aesthetic. And for creators building out a first serious content kit or expanding into a more capable second body, the Z50II gives Nikon a compelling entry point in the APS-C space, one that speaks directly to the content creator generation in language that feels genuinely relevant to how they actually work and shoot. What makes this collection remarkable is not any single body in isolation. What makes it remarkable is that they all coexist simultaneously in the same system, with the same lens mount and the same growing glass ecosystem behind them. Nikon now serves the budget-conscious, full-frame buyer, the serious professional hybrid shooter, the style-driven film photography enthusiast, and the ambitious younger creator just finding their footing. Multiple identities, multiple creative communities, multiple price points, one unified direction. Most camera brands fight simply to maintain one coherent market identity without losing focus. Nikon is now managing 4 or 5 of them at once, and somehow making all of them feel considered rather than scattered. And yet, as genuinely impressive as the hardware story is, it may not be the most strategically significant part of what Nikon is building right now. Because the move that could carry the longest lasting impact on how creators choose a system and stay committed to it is happening at the software and workflow level. And most of the camera conversation is barely paying attention to it. Nikon's imaging cloud and imaging recipes represent something the broader camera industry has been surprisingly slow to embrace. The idea that a camera brand should function as a creative platform rather than simply a hardware manufacturer that ships boxes and waits for the next review cycle. With imaging recipes, and users of cameras including the Z5II, the Z6III, the Zf, and the Z50II can download and apply specific color profiles and visual identities directly to their bodies. These are not simple picture-style presets. They are workflow tools. They give creators the ability to build and maintain consistent visual identities across their entire content output without spending hours in post-production chasing a specific look from one project to the next. The colors established in the camera, the consistency travels with the system, and the friction between capturing and publishing gets meaningfully smaller. This matters in ways that megapixel counts and frame rate specifications simply cannot communicate. Because one of the most underrated reasons creators switch systems or stay loyal to one is not sensor resolution. It is friction. It is the real daily cost of getting footage from the camera to a finished, polished, shareable piece of work. Nikon's ecosystem thinking is attacking that friction directly and practically. It is telling creators that staying in the Nikon system means a faster pipeline, a more consistent output, and a more professional result with less daily effort per project. That is not a camera feature. That is a platform promise. And when a brand makes that kind of promise and follows through on it consistently, loyalty stops being a conversation about specs and starts becoming something far stickier and far harder for competitors to dismantle overnight. If this kind of deep creative and market analysis is what keeps you coming back, subscribe to AltBuzz right now. Visit altbuzzmedia.com for more camera coverage. And if you want to support the channel more directly, memberships are available below at $5 and $10. Now let us talk about what all of this actually means for the brands watching Nikon from across the market. Because this is where the story sharpens into something with real competitive teeth. Sony built its mirrorless dominance on relentless innovation and a pace of product iteration that kept the industry permanently off balance. Canon held its position through deep brand loyalty, a lens ecosystem built over generations, and the kind of recognition that money alone cannot manufacture. Panasonic carved out devoted territory through cinema color and professional video credibility. Each of those positions made clear strategic sense when Nikon felt like a respectable but predictable single-lane competitor. But Nikon is no longer operating in a single lane. It is not even operating in two. What Nikon has constructed, quietly, systematically, and without generating excessive noise in the process, is a multi-front strategy that now simultaneously touches cinema, professional hybrid shooting, creator workflow modernization, retro enthusiast culture, and entry-level content creation. That is not a brand playing reactive catch-up against better-positioned rivals. That is a brand pressing on multiple pressure points at the same time. And the difficulty this creates for competitors is specific and genuine. A creator comparing systems today is no longer choosing between one camera and another camera. They are evaluating one ecosystem against another. And Nikon's ecosystem has become dramatically more complete, more forward-looking, and more creator-focused than the market broadly anticipated even 2 years ago. That shift in perception changes purchasing conversations in ways that are very hard to reverse once they take hold. The trust Nikon has accumulated over decades, the professional credibility, the optical excellence, the reliability that working photographers have staked their careers on, is now attached to a brand that is also pushing convincingly into cinema, modernizing its software workflow, and expanding its creative identity across multiple segments simultaneously. That combination of inherited trust and fresh ambition is extraordinarily difficult to replicate on a short timeline. You cannot manufacture credibility, and you cannot rush genuine ecosystem depth. Both of those things take years to build, and Nikon already has them. That is exactly what makes Nikon dangerous in 2026. Not just to the brands competing for the same buyers, but to the comfortable assumption that Nikon was ever a brand anyone in this industry could safely treat as background noise. And now we arrive at the part of the story that should make competitors genuinely nervous. Because as coordinated and ambitious as everything we have covered truly is, the RØDE acquisition, the ZR, the expanded mainstream lineup, the imaging cloud and imaging recipes platform, there is a very real possibility that Nikon's most important move has not happened yet. And that possibility alone changes the entire shape of the conversation. Rumors have been circulating within the serious camera community around what many believe could be the next major evolution in Nikon's flagship line. A potential successor to the Z9, a body that could represent the most complete and fully realized expression of everything Nikon has been assembling across its cinema strategy, its hardware ambition, and its software ecosystem. To be completely clear, this is a rumor. Nothing is confirmed. Nikon has made no official announcement of any kind. But the fact that discussions around a rumored Nikon flagship are generating this level of genuine anticipation, the kind of energy that used to belong almost exclusively to Sony and Canon release cycles, is itself one of the most telling signals in this entire story. Perception has shifted, and perception in the camera market is often the first thing to move before everything else follows. Think about what Nikon would bring to that camera if it ever arrives. Not simply a faster processor or higher resolution sensor or a refined autofocus system. The full depth of the red color science relationship, the cinema credibility established through the ZR program, the creator-facing software infrastructure of Imaging Cloud, the market confidence of a company that has spent 2 years proving it, can execute a connected, multi-layered strategic plan and deliver on it. So the question this video has to end on is a real one. Has Nikon already made its most important move? Or is the move that defines this entire comeback era still sitting just ahead of us, waiting to land? Subscribe to AltBuzz and visit altbuzzmedia.com to stay close to everything coming next. Because if Nikon's next chapter is as significant as everything they have been quietly building suggests, this story is going to get a whole lot bigger. Nikon may not dominate every category today, but it now feels like one of the very few camera brands moving with real, coordinated intent across multiple fronts simultaneously. And that, more than any single spec, any single launch, any single headline, is exactly what makes Nikon dangerous in 2026. If this video added value to your day, the super thanks button is right below. Every contribution from $2 to $100 keeps deep dive camera coverage exactly like this alive and in your feed. And if you want to support the channel more directly, our memberships are available below at $5 and $10. You can also visit altbuzzmedia.com for more camera content. Subscribe, stay close, and we will see you in the next one. In a world of glass and light, of sensors, color science, and borrowed cinema dreams, the most dangerous thing any brand can quietly become is simply this: organized, patient, and ready. Nikon is all three, and the story is far from over.